If your walking still doesn't feel normal, even months after a stroke, you're not alone. And more importantly, it doesn't mean you're stuck. Because what most people don't realize is this: walking doesn't come back automatically, even if you've been doing exercises, even if you've been consistent, even if you've been trying really hard. There are very specific reasons why your walking might not be improving. And today I'm going to break down the biggest ones I see. And number 3 is the one that almost nobody talks about, but it might be the exact thing holding you back right now. So make sure you stick around for that. Now, before we get into it, if you want a simple step-by-step guide to start improving your recovery at home, I put together a free stroke recovery checklist. It walks you through exactly what to focus on daily so you don't feel like you're guessing anymore. You can grab that in the link in my bio. All right, let's get into it. The first reason your walking isn't improving is because you're practicing the wrong version of walking, and this is a big one. A lot of people think that just walking more will fix their walking. And here's the problem. If your walking pattern is off and you just keep repeating it over and over again, you're not improving. You're reinforcing the old pattern. Your brain is literally learning the wrong pattern, and it gets better at doing it wrong. So what does it look like? Maybe your affected leg isn't bending enough. Maybe you're hiking your hip to clear your foot. Maybe you're leaning heavily to one side. Maybe your step length is uneven, or your foot is turning out. These aren't just small issues, they're patterns, and your brain is wiring those patterns in every single time you walk. So instead of just asking, how much am I walking? You need to start asking, how am I walking? Because quality matters way more than quantity. Now, I'm not saying you don't walk. You should be absolutely walking, but you need to mix in focused practice where you slow things down, pay attention to your movement, and start correcting those patterns. Even if it feels a little awkward at first, because that's how your brain actually starts to change. And if it is already hitting home for you, just wait until you hear the next one, because this is where a lot of people unknowingly sabotage their progress. The second reason your walking isn't improving is because you're not challenging your system enough. And this is tricky because a lot of people feel like they're working hard, and they are, but they're staying in the safe zone. And your brain doesn't need a change in the safe zone. It changes when it's slightly challenged, not overwhelmed, but challenged. So what does that mean and look like? It means if you're always walking at the same pace, on the same surface, with the same level of support, your body has no reason to adapt. There's no signal that says, hey, we need to get better at this. So your progress stalls. This is where things like walking a little faster, possibly, practicing on uneven surfaces, reducing how much you hold on to something, working on turning, stepping over objects, changing directions, all of that starts to really matter. Because now your brain has to problem solve again, and that's what drives improvement. Now here's the important part. You don't need to jump into something unsafe. You just need to push slightly outside your comfort zone. That's where the magic happens. And most people don't spend enough time there. Now, the third reason, and this is the one that almost nobody talks about. Your walking might not be improving because your brain is doing all the work instead of your body. Let me explain. After a stroke, your brain has to work way harder to do basic movements. So what it often does is it finds shortcuts, compensations, ways to get the job done, even if it's not very efficient. And at first, that's okay, and that's part of the process. But over time, those compensations can become the default. And now your brain is relying on them instead of actually rebuilding proper movement. So instead of your affected leg doing the work, your stronger side takes over. Instead of using the right muscles, you're using whatever muscles can get the job done. And this creates a sort of a ceiling because you can only improve so much using those type of compensations. To break through this, you have to retrain your brain to use the right movement again. And this usually means slowing things down, breaking walking into smaller pieces, and sometimes doing exercises that don't even look like walking, because you're targeting specific parts of the movement. Things like weight shifting, single leg control, foot placement, hip stability, timing, all of those pieces matter. And if one of them is off, your walking will be off. So if you've been feeling stuck, these are some of the reasons might be the cause. You're not broken. Your body just learned a different strategy. And now we need to guide it back. Now there's one more thing I wanted to mention, because this ties everything together. Progress in walking after a stroke is not just about effort. It's about direction. You can work really hard, but if you're working on the wrong things or repeating the wrong patterns, you're going to feel stuck. And that's where most people get frustrated, because they think, I'm doing everything that I can, why is this not getting any better? But when you start to shift your focus from just doing more to doing the right things that you need to do, that's when things start to change. And I've seen people improve their walking months, even years after a stroke, once they understand this. So if you're sitting there thinking, my walking hasn't changed in a long time, don't take that as a sign that it's over. Take it as a sign that something needs to change in your approach. And if you want help figuring out exactly what to focus on, that's why I created a free stroke recovery checklist. It breaks down the key areas you should be working on, so you're not just guessing or doing random exercises. You can grab it in the link in my bio. And if this video helped you see things a little bit differently, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to keep breaking down stroke recovery in a way that actually makes sense and helps you keep moving forward. Because recovery doesn't just stop. People don't just stop doing the things that, or people just stop doing the things that drive that change. And now you know what to look for.